This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee. This is my pee-pee. Oh, hi. I'm JP. You might recognize me from Egotastic FunTime. Or, well, that's probably all you recognize me from. But some of you might remember my episode review for Season 1 of the Orville, Cupid's Dagger. I actually forgot all about it until the other day when I was putting all my Orville reviews together into one awesome playlist and I couldn't find it. Then I remembered a few months ago that I was a victim. Yes, I said victim of YouTube treachery. For some reason, they banned my review of Cupid's Dagger and they deleted it. They also gave me a YouTube strike and forbid me from live streaming for 3 months. Why? I have no idea. So here I am, against the wishes of the man, bringing my review back for you guys to enjoy. So let's hope the YouTube robots don't find it too spicy for their little website this time, okay? So go ahead and sit back, relax. No, you in the back there, you don't relax that much, please. I know this is the Derulio episode, but let's just all agree to keep our pants on, okay? All of us. All of us. So I hope you enjoy this review of the #MeToo episode of the Orville, Cupid's Dagger, on this very special episode of Talking the Orville. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. Love.
You will be silent!
Egotastic FunTime. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking the Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're going to have a great time talking about episode 9 of the Orville, Cupid's Dagger. In this much more light-hearted episode, Ed and Kelly are tasked with trying to help broker peace between two alien factions, fighting over the rights to planet Lipovius. The Union also sends over a forensic archaeologist played by Rob Lowe to help uncover evidence that might assist in the peace talks. The only problem is that this forensic archaeologist is Derulio, Kelly's Retepsian lover that Ed caught her in bed with a year ago and ultimately ended their marriage. But Derulio has a juicy secret that causes an uproar aboard the ship and puts Ed, Kelly, and Dr. Finn under the influence of a love drug, thus bringing the peace talks to a grinding halt, as well as giving me nightmares because I'll never be able to unsee this. Oh my God! Look at it. Look at it! Unlike other episodes I've reviewed of the Orville, I can't say that I liked Cupid's Dagger, and that's because I loved it. But let's not put labels on it, man. Love, lust, you know, a dude and a TV show banging each other hard. The Orville has proven that it can handle comedy, drama, social commentary, and big ideas incredibly well. I mean, last week with Into the Fold, we had a very dramatic episode with Claire and Isaac trying to survive on an unknown moon, while this week, it pulls out all the stops to make us laugh.
The captain entered Mr. Derulio in some fashion.
Not yet.
This episode actually mirrors more of what everybody thought the Orville was going to be before it started airing its first season. A lighthearted comedic farce set in space.
But it's so much more than that, you guys.
Not only is Cupid's Dagger a humorous look at unbridled, crazy teenage pheromone-induced puppy love, but it also has some very strong sexual themes, and because of that, we're going to have to go ahead and do a disclaimer.
Due to the graphic nature of this episode of the Orville, Cupid's Dagger, JP is going to go down a list of inappropriate language that may or may not come up in this episode of Talking the Orville. Viewer discretion is advised.
Balls, penis, vajayjay, blue wiener, pink wiener, girl wiener, Bortus wiener, boob hats, taking a ride on the old jism trail, Smurf juice, giving Rob Lowe a throb below, glandular, gooey vein drain, the last delicious drink of a blueberry milkshake, all over your face, sword fight at the old gay corral, purple-headed yogurt slinger, jiggling member berries, shooting ropes, bare butts, smoking a scaly pole down in the blue bayou, my wife, coughing Yaphet's Moffat, enter the dragon, and pussy anal fissures. At the top of the episode, we get to see the entire crew letting loose, relaxing in the mess hall, having a karaoke night. And it turns out Kelly can really wail, you guys.
All night, oh, every night. So hold tight, ooh baby, hold tight.
They even make sure to have a shot of Ed watching her sing with this "This is why I fell in love with her" face. But being teased with the possibility of hearing Bortus cover "My Heart Will Go On" was cruel and unusual punishment. It was really nice seeing the whole crew like chill out together and have a good time. I'm not sure what was up with this guy though. You can just tell by the look at his face that he probably has people locked up in his basement. The main conflict in this episode is two warring alien races fighting over colonization rights of a planet. An ancient artifact is uncovered and they send Derulio in to study the artifact and hopefully uncover genetic evidence as to who the planetary rights go to. It was actually really nice to see Rob Lowe come aboard as this character. He was basically reprising his role as Chris Traeger from Parks and Recreation, except much bluer. In Cupid's Dagger, we learn that Derulio's people go into heat once a year and excrete a pheromone that temporarily puts anyone that comes into contact with it under the effects of what's essentially a love potion. In this case, Ed, Kelly, and Dr. Finn are affected. Right here you can see where Ed and Kelly get infected on the shuttle bay. Later on, we see Yaphet become a carrier for Derulio's blue goo potion and transfer it to Dr. Finn. Or it could be that Dr. Finn is just a huge Ramones fan.
Hey, little girl, I want to be your boyfriend.
To me, it appears that Derulio had no bad intentions when coming aboard the Orville. I mean, he didn't know the ship was commanded by Ed and Kelly, the same couple who he had a part in ruining their marriage a year before. But I do think as likable and cool as Derulio is, and man, is he so cool, you guys, he's a bit rude. I mean, he had to know that he was in heat and that anyone that came into contact with him would be affected by his pheromones. I mean, why didn't he at least wear gloves while on this mission to avoid any sticky situations, pun intended? Derulio reminds me of this dude from work, Steve, who always comes in even when he's sick, thinking that he's doing everybody a favor because he came in even though he's not feeling good. You're not doing anyone a favor, Steve. You're just spreading your germs all over the damn place, dick. When Ed goes to Kelly's quarters to find out why she's putting off her duties, the show recreates the same exact series opener from episode 1. Since the show is kind enough to do a recreation of this scene for us, let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison of both scenes.
Kelly, the Bruidian ambassadors are here and
Oh no. Oh no.
Personally, I have to say, for me, Seth MacFarlane really shined in this episode. This was probably my favorite scene I've ever seen Seth do. When he's infected by the love drug and begins to prepare for his date with Derulio, I was beaming ear to ear, you guys, because it was so damn funny to me. This scene was written for a teenage girl who's obsessed with Harry Styles from One Direction, but instead of casting a teenage girl, they cast a middle-aged man to play the role. Captain Mercer was obsessed with making himself look good enough to win Derulio's heart, walking through the clone cloud, plucking his eyebrows, obsessing over his outfit. These are all things we never expect the captain of a starship to do. It lets us know just how powerful this love drug is and just how badly Ed wanted to get into Derulio's Coolio.
PP for my bunghole?
Here's some other things we learned from this episode. We learned that I really love Kelly. Bortus has a weakness for Canadian ballads. The Union actually does have smaller ships than the Orville. Bortus and Clyden are still having marital problems. Kelly is a sexual jihadist. Some people find it rude to turn down sex. I think that's something we can all learn from. Yaphet sleeps in a giant cookie sheet and his mother is also his brother. According to John, the entire ship is on drugs. Dan from the elevator is from the same race as the guy from episode 1. Kelly makes dry ass banana bread, but chows down on cupcakes when she's sad. When it comes to affairs of the heart, Claire is one missed text away from going fatal attraction on your ass. We also learned not to trust this guy. I'm watching you, dude. So now it's time to talk about Yaphet and Claire, you guys, and I'll keep it brief because this whole situation kind of weirded me out a bit. Yes, it's been established since the beginning that Yaphet has a thing for Claire, and Claire doesn't reciprocate his feelings. And we've all wanted Dr. Finn to throw Yaphet a bone, and not just because he doesn't have bones. When she shows up at the door ready to get all jiggy with Yaphet, Jello Jiggler style, I thought, ha, that's funny. That's gonna be a funny thing. So then they cut to commercial and I assumed we were done with this scene. But I was oh so wrong. They pick right back up from where they left off and we get to see this, which is weird. And then we get to see this, which I do not like, you guys. I don't like it. And I don't know why I don't like it. I'm a guy. I like gross guy things, but I didn't like seeing this. And I think it's probably because when I was younger, slime was a toy that I loved to play with. Slime was fun. And in a wholesome way, not in a butt stuff way, get your mind out of the gutter. We had slimy hands that you can sling and pick up stuff with, creeper crawlers that would crawl down when you threw them at the wall. wall. I even had a Castle Grayskull thing so Skeletor could torture He-Man with slime. Yeah, my 20s were awesome. And if you ever played with slime when you were a kid, you know this stuff would eventually get all crudted up with crap that it would pick up off from all the surfaces that it touched. Before long, your gooey slime would be filled with dirt and hair and fruity pebble dust and boogers and who knows what else. From what I've seen of Yaphet, the dude is no exception. He's got crud all up in his goo, you guys. And now Claire is in the medical bay sitting on his face or in his face, or I don't know what's going on there. I'm confused. And how about Dan, the poor guy who just wanted to get some music in the elevators? He was played by none other than Mike Henry himself. And if you're thinking, wow, Mike Henry was on this show, then you're a liar because you have no idea who Mike Henry is, but you might recognize him as the guy who voices Cleveland Brown.
Close that window, you're letting all the stank out.
By the end of the episode, Derulio realizes how much trouble his heat juice is causing and comes up with a way to make the Navarians and Bruidians get along. He also discovers that the ancient artifact from the planet carries DNA from both races because at some point they had a common ancestor, which means they both have rights to the planet. I also like how after the effects of Derulio's love pump potion wears off, Ed doesn't have a mental breakdown over the fact that he had gay sex. He said he's a bit weirded out, which is understandable under the circumstances, but he's okay. The Orville is able to express maturity even in an episode that's purposely meant to be immature. Good job, show. Derulio actually gives Ed and Kelly a huge gift in this episode. No, I'm not talking about his big blue whale. We actually have no idea how big his stuff is. What I'm talking about is when Kelly asks him if he was in heat a year ago when they got together, Derulio says maybe. Meaning that if Kelly was under the influence of Derulio's man-junk musk, that she now has the only excuse that Ed would accept as to why she cheated on him. She couldn't have helped herself. Of course, Derulio said maybe, not definitely. He could have said maybe because he felt a little ashamed of, taking advantage of her a year ago. Or he could have said it because he knew that that's what Ed needed to hear and that it might help Ed and Kelly rekindle the relationship someday. We just don't know. But one thing we do know, when it comes to laying pipe in the bedroom, Derulio is less Don Juan and more Jean-Ralphio.
Well, you can come too, beautiful. Look at that. I guess sometimes I call men beautiful too. I guess I'm open-minded as hell. I think you're pretty good looking.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? What did you think of Cupid's Dagger? Do you think Ed and Kelly can repair their relationship after they both took a dip in Derulio's blue man goop? You can let me know by joining the conversation below. And I want to thank you guys so much for liking and subscribing to my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me. I'll see you next time, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give me all your 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 money.